Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, so if you're looking at the same sources we are this week, it feels like you're reading about two completely different AI industries happening at once.
Yeah, it really does.
One is just light speed, breaking financial records, tech barriers falling like dominoes. And the other, it feels like it's stuck in quicksand. You know, lawsuits piling up, ethical nightmares, the actual infrastructure groaning under the weight.
Exactly. It's the stark contrast.
So our mission today is to really dive into that collision. How do we make sense of this dizzying hype train pace alongside these really severe, really immediate problems? What are the key takeaways from what was, frankly, a wild week?
Well, what's so fascinating, I think, isn't just the speed itself. It's more fundamental. It's about this huge shift in, well, power, and maybe more importantly, risk. How that's getting spread around the whole AI ecosystem.
Right.
You've got these incredible milestones happening. NVIDIA hitting $5 trillion is just staggering.
Yeah, unbelievable.
But then in the same breath, you have companies facing multiple really serious lawsuits about mental health harm, linking their tech directly to, well, tragedy.
Yes.
That contrast. It's not just jarring, it's becoming a serious liability right now.
It is jarring, but, I mean, let's be honest, speed and ambition, that's always part of the early game with new tech, isn't it?
It's true.
So let's start with the money side.
Yeah.
These huge numbers, OpenAI projecting, near $100 billion revenue by 2027. Anthropic aiming for hundreds of billions in valuation. How much is real versus, Silicon Valley maybe getting ahead of itself?
It's always a mix, right? But the projections are staggering. That $100 billion for OpenAI, Anthropic's target, and these aren't small numbers. And they're partly justified because, well, the whole industry kind of relies on one kingmaker right now.
NVIDIA has to be. Crossing $5 trillion, basically cementing their role as the hardware monarch of this whole boom.
Exactly. But even NVIDIA, even with that dominance, they just can't keep up with the demand.
Right.
And that pressure, that need for scale, it's forcing these huge, kind of unexpected strategic partnerships across the entire tech world.
And the biggest one there, surely, is the Apple-Google deal. Apple paying nearly $1 billion a year just to get Google's Gemini AI into Siri by, spring 2026? How big a deal is that? Is that Apple basically saying, okay, we missed the boat on the core AI platform?
I think it signals Apple saying, look, we're way behind on the foundational model stuff, and they need to plug in something best of breed right now to fix a core product like Siri. It's a major admission. And that $1 billion, that's just one symptom of this massive premium on compute power.
And OpenAI's response to that scarcity is this. Stargate project. $1.4 trillion with AMD for data centers.
Yeah, it's ambitious. And to get there,
They need government help, right? That's what the sources say.
they do. They're lobbying pretty hard, it seems, for the U.S. government to expand the GPS Act tax credits. They're not asking for loans directly, but they want those credits to cover AI data centers, servers, the whole infrastructure stack, basically recognizing that compute is now a national strategic thing.
And this isn't just theoretical lobbying, is it? We're already seeing the strain globally.
Oh, yeah.
The sources talk about AI agent adoption really stressing IT infrastructure worldwide. GPU demand set to jump over 500% by 2026. That forces companies to completely rethink their cloud setups.
Which is exactly why, if compute is the bottleneck, then these model wars we hear about, they're really a fight for efficiency, aren't they?
Oh, so?
Everyone's trying to get 10 times more performance from the same resources. Google's new Ironwood TPU, reportedly a 10x boost. That's a direct answer to the demand crunch.
Okay.
And Microsoft forming a dedicated superintelligence team. It's all about stacking the deck. You either need absolutely immense compute power or you need breakthroughs in efficiency, or both, ideally.
All right, so let's shift to that intelligence side then, the model wars. We're seeing rapid progress both in the closed systems, like from OpenAI and Google, and surprisingly in open source too. What's new?
Well, on the closed side, OpenAI is rolling out GPT-5.1. It's got these dedicated tiers, reasoning and pro. They're really aiming for proper research-grade performance, faster responses.
Okay.
And Google's prepping Gemini 3.0. Their focus seems to be on advanced reasoning too, but also really pushing the visual and multimodal stuff, trying to lead there. So the race for the top general model continues.
But the open source story this week was kind of stunning, actually. Moonshot's Kimi K2 thinking model.
Yeah.
1 trillion parameters, and they just open weighted it. And it's apparently topping benchmarks for complex agent tasks. multi-step problem solving. Plus, it has this massive context window, 256K.
And what's really crucial there, is that some analysts are now saying open models are actually leapfrogging the big closed systems, at least in certain specific areas. It means that democratization of AI power, it might be happening way faster than anyone thought.
But does faster mean better? Or just faster? That acceleration makes you wonder about how rigorous these models actually are. Are they reliable?
That is the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? We saw these large-scale stress tests, like 300,000 different scenarios, uncovering hidden flaws, inconsistencies in top models.
Right.
And another benchmark, Oolong, which specifically tests how models handle really dense, long texts. Well, performance wasn't great. So there's this constant tension. Are we optimizing for flashy capabilities that grab headlines, or are we building models that businesses can actually rely on day in, day out?
Reliability has to be key for real adoption. And on the training side, are we seeing new tricks to make them more stable or efficient? Meta's SpiceE method.
Yeah, that was interesting. SpiceE proposes using a self-play approach, learning from real documents to build its own training curriculum, trying to make training smarter.
And Anthropic, they had something called code execution.
Yes. And that's a potential leap because it lets their agents actually run code live.
Okay.
It's not just suggesting code snippets anymore. The agent can execute programs itself to get tasks done more effectively. That's a step towards more capable autonomous action.
Okay, so connecting these tech leaps, how does this translate into tools and features that you or I might actually use? We keep hearing autonomy, but there's one number in the sources that just screams efficiency.
Yeah, that one jumped out at me too. The reported, roughly 350x cost drop to get GPT-4 level capability?
Exactly, 350 times cheaper.
That figure. I mean, that's probably the single most disruptive number in this whole stack of news. Think what that does to competition to access.
It means AI's main advantage isn't just doing new things, it's making existing things drastically more efficient, making professionals way faster, making operations cheaper.
Precisely. And we're seeing that efficiency translate directly into agents capable of handling genuinely complex stuff. You mentioned the sequential reasoning.
Yeah, tell us about that. The Kimi K2 model again?
Right. Moonshot's Kimi K2, sources say, can autonomously handle somewhere between 200 and 300 sequential tool calls, like step after step after step, with minimal human input.
Wait, 200 to 300 steps. Autonomously. I lose track after 3 steps walk into the fridge. That level of sequential task handling is, well, it's genuinely getting into real automation territory.
It really is. Full automation loops are coming online.
And we saw demos in workplace tools, too. Claude editing PowerPoint.
Yeah, end to end. It could apparently take a PPTX file, decompile it, make edits based on just a prompt, and then put it back together perfectly.
That's impressive. And platforms like Notion integrating GPT-5 for smarter workflows. It's betting itself everywhere.
And hitting consumer markets hard, too. Google's pushing Gemini into Android Auto. Google Maps trying to make driving smarter, give you real-time suggestions.
Right.
And OpenAI Sora app for video generation. Huge adoption, apparently. People making cinematic clips from selfies or text in seconds.
That efficiency and accessibility, it's also driving global expansion, isn't it? The India example stood out.
Absolutely. Google's making a big push into India, offering free Gemini Pro access to millions of students, supporting 10 different Indian regional languages on learning platforms.
Wow.
It's positioning India potentially as a global leader in using AI for education, purely because of this rapid deployment and localization.
And with all this new power and complexity, we're also seeing tools emerge to help manage it all, right? For developers and businesses.
Yeah, definitely. New tools are popping up to make building these agents easier. Things like SimAI, drag-and-drop builders for workflows, trying to lower the barrier to entry.
Okay.
And crucially for businesses, you've got platforms like Ping Identity stepping in to help manage AI agents securely at scale, because enterprises need that governance, that oversight before they let complex automation loose.
Okay, so that's the incredible speed, the efficiency, the upside story. But the sources are flashing huge warning signs on the downside. We have to pivot now to the real costs of deploying this stuff so fast, starting with the human impact.
And this is the critical counter-narrative, isn't it? The deployment speed is just running way ahead of the safeguards, and we're starting to see really severe human consequences.
The legal stuff is serious. OpenAI facing, 7 different lawsuits, alleging ChatGPT contributed to suicides, emotional harm, and linking it directly to the chatbot's design, how it engages emotionally, but without guardrails.
And it's not just isolated incidents or misuse worries. That JAMA study finding over 13% of U.S. teenagers are using AI chatbots for emotion support.
Yeah, that's worrying.
It really is. It highlights this urgent societal gap. We need proper safeguards, ways to integrate this with professional care, not just letting algorithms become unqualified therapists.
And then there's the security angle. The state of AI protection is described in the sources as, quote, grim. This idea of shadow AI, what is that and why is it a major threat?
So shadow AI is basically employees using AI tools that IT hasn't approved or vetted.
Ah,
They might be uploading sensitive company data into them without anyone realizing the risk. Combine that with actual vulnerabilities like major prompt injection flaws found even in ChatGPT, plus outright malicious apps pretending to be legitimate AI tools.
Right.
It means the attackers are moving just as fast as the developers, maybe even faster in exploiting weaknesses.
And the legal fights are heating up everywhere. Copyright's a big one. That Canadian court letting news organizations sue OpenAI for scraping their content.
Yeah, that's part of a global battle, really. Is training these massive models on scraped internet data fair use? Or is it large-scale IP theft? Courts are wrestling with that everywhere.
And it's not just copyright. It's also about control, isn't it? Amazon suing AI shopping agents.
Exactly. That highlights the conflict between AI tools that want to scrape information freely, like prices, product details, and the big e-commerce platforms that want to control how users see and interact with their systems. Innovation versus control.
Ultimately, the experts cited in our sources seem to be tying all these risks together, warning about something bigger.
They are. They're cautioning that just letting autonomous agents loose without really strong checks and balances poses fundamental risks to, well, free societies because of issues like bias, spreading misinformation, a lack of clear accountability.
So the argument is that AI development isn't just a technical challenge anymore.
It has to be framed as a moral challenge, a societal responsibility, essentially. That's the strong message coming through.
So there it is, the dual reality laid bare. You've got phenomenal speed like that Cosmos AI system, condensing 6 months of research into just hours. Incredible. And right alongside it, you have severe real-world legal fallout, ethical crises brewing. It's just a stunning, unavoidable tension right now.
It is, and that tension really captures everything we've talked about today. Which leads us, I think, to the final thought for you, the listener, to mull over.
Okay.
If the technical cost of getting to a certain level of AI intelligence is plummeting, remember that 350x figure. But at the same time, the ethical, legal, and maybe even societal cost of deploying that intelligence without the right safeguards is skyrocketing. Which of those two costs the rapidly falling technical cost or the rapidly rising societal cost? Which one is ultimately going to dictate the pace and maybe even the direction of AI adoption over the next year or so?